All right, folks. So today I've got two videos for you that are going to take you through getting started with Civil 3D. And as your assignment specifies, your goal is to use Civil 3D to make a drawing of a building on campus and the area around it. So I'm going to show you today an example with Markle Hall. Please choose a different building, but I just want to show you really quickly. In Google Maps, what I would recommend you do before you do anything in Civil 3D is get some basic measurements. So I'm focused here on the admissions building, and you probably know that you can click and you can get information. You can actually get coordinates, which is great. But what we want are distances. So if I hover over the edge of the building and right click, ah, I can say measure distance. And then I can measure the distance to the edge of the building. And again, you're going to probably do some rounding. That's okay. To leave this, you hit escape, excuse me, close that out. And let's say I want to get this edge. So I'm going to click. I don't even need to primary click. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say measure distance, and then I can get the edge. And if you keep clicking, it will do additive distances, which maybe isn't so helpful. So I recommend sort of doing it piecemeal. And as you're doing this, you're probably going to want to do a little drawing on a piece of engineering paper and just note those distances in feet. Um, if For this particular building, I would probably measure the width of the road. I'd probably get some information about the sidewalks. Again, I'm just looking for sort of rough dimensions that I can translate into Civil 3D. So to show you, this is what I put together for like what my answer would be for that problem on your homework that asks you to pull out those dimensions. I'm assuming that my building is symmetrical. So this side is 60 feet, this side is 60 feet, this side is 50 feet, this side is 50 feet. And as you can see, it's not perfect, and that's okay. I'm just looking for you to get some rough dimensions. Once you have done that, you're going to go ahead and get started in Civil 3D. So I'm going to stop sharing over here. And I'm going to start sharing from the CE Computer Lab. And I want to show you how to get logged into Civil 3D, and then I'm going to take you through some of the features that are going to be helpful for you as you do this. All we're doing today is drawing lines. So let's go ahead. We are going to go to CEE Software, and we're going to go to Civil 3D 2026 Imperial. We want imperial units for this. There is a metric version, not what we are using at all for this. So takes you in. And if you get any pop-ups along the way, you can just say yes, you can say okay. If you're on a computer that hasn't had Civil 3D activated yet, you might get other pop-ups, and that is okay. Just say okay. You're going to sign in like you're signing into, here we go, the Lafayette system. So I'm going to do my Kelleheck. I'm going to do my password. It's probably going to force me to Duo. I'm going to say no, other people use this device, don't save my password. And I'm signed in. So I'm going to say open product. And it's going to say, okay, I want to open this. That's fine. What you're going to notice up at the very top is you should be signed in. Okay, so I am signed in, which is great. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to new. I want to make a new drawing. And it might take a second. Civil 3D, are you angry? Can be a little finicky. Oh, just know if you have some of these things, it is normal. Oh, okay. Civil 3D can only allow you into a, okay. Oh, good. If you get this, error. This is a good thing. I was signed in on another computer, so I'm going to say check again, and I should be good. So if you're still logged in on another computer, you might get that update. So one thing we're going to do at the very end is we're going to make sure we sign out and quit. So here is our interface for Civil 3D. There's a lot of different information here. I've got this thing up here, so I want to move it out of the way. There we go. There's all sorts of information over here in Toolspace that we will eventually get to in this class. We have ribbons up at the top, the annotate ribbon we're going to talk about a little bit today. We have the draw and the modify, which is mainly what you're going to be using today. Again, we're just getting you familiar with this. We also have some information down here at the bottom we will deal with eventually. For now, don't worry about it, except for this one little right angle thing, which is what we call ortho mode. If you click on that, you're turning on ortho mode, and you see it down here. You turn it off to get rid of ortho mode. Civil 3D is really interesting in that you can run commands from the command line, or you can run commands by clicking on it, which I think is really helpful. So if you're somebody who really likes visual things, you've got this whole interactive system up here, but you could do the same things from the command line. If I wanted to draw a line, you can guess probably what I would type. Line, and it's going to tell you exactly what it wants. Specify first point, specify next point, and you can keep going. If I want to erase that line, I'm going to type erase. I'm going to select that object, and then I'm going to say enter to get rid of it. This is going to come with time, and if you want to do something, there are a whole lot of ways to figure out how to do it. So I am not a Civil 3D expert in any way, shape, or form. I use Civil 3D as a tool, and that's what I want you all to be able to do too. I am an expert at teaching and learning software, especially civil engineering software. And so that's why we teach Civil 3D, is because it's a great tool for you to know, and you can take it as far as you want to take it. So in this particular case, we just drew a line. I want to show you something else. So I'm going to draw two lines. I got two lines here, and to exit out of this, I'm going to hit escape. We also have something called P-line. So I'm, again, just going to draw some lines, and I'm going to hit escape to escape out. I'm going to show you something with the erase feature. So if I draw just regular lines, it treats each line like its own segment. If I draw a P-line, it treats it as a continuous segment. That can be useful in some cases. So knowing the difference is important. If I can't actually select the object, another thing I can do is draw a box around it and remove it from there. So I am going to take you through my drawing of Markel Hall very quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. My drawing is sort of at an angle. You can make your building, it doesn't need to be in the orientation that you see it on Google Maps. Lines, I'm going to draw my first line. I know one edge of the building is 170 feet, so all I'm going to do is click here. And you're going to notice two things. I can go all the way out to 170 feet very carefully, or I could type 170 there, and it's going to give me the edge of that building. Now, I want to come down this way. I'm actually going to click on ortho, and look at what happens. It restricts me to those 90 degrees, which I think is actually pretty cool. And you can see my first line wasn't perfectly straight. That's okay. You can fix it if you care that much. I am down for whatever you want to do with this. So I've got 50 on that dimension. I've got 60 on that dimension. I've got 12. I've got 50. I've got 12. And I've got, oops, that didn't go in. I might have made a mistake. Oh no, I made a mistake. So what am I going to do? I'm going to erase. Just did that little area. So I'm going to click on line again. I'm going to click here. And I have my ortho on, so I'm going to go 12. And I'm going to make sure I'm pointing this way. I'm going to say 60. And then I can finish right up to the very tippy top. And it's not exactly 50, that's okay. Again, escape is going to get you out of any of those tools. I can do a couple other things. So let's say I wanted to move this. I can click on this whole, I can select the whole area. I can say enter, and then it asks me to specify a base point. So I'm going to click an area on my drawing. Now I can move it. Oh no, I'm stuck in ortho mode. I don't want that. I want to be able to move freely. Look at that. Now I can move this anywhere I want. I could stretch this. I'm just going to show you and then undo. So I'm going to select everything, going to click enter. Again, specify a base point, and I'm gonna use the first as a displacement point, stretch specify second point. So let's just try this out. It didn't work very well. That's okay. I can mirror things. I can rotate them. Let's rotate. Again, you're selecting your objects, clicking enter, specifying a base point, and now I can rotate this around that base point. A lot of these things are pretty self-explanatory, which I think is sort of cool. I'm going to move this back into the center of my screen. All right. I want to highlight there's a lot of different ways to create lines. We are just doing regular old drawing today, but we in the future are going to be using some of these other features. So creating a line by azimuth, by bearing, by an angle, by northing and easting. So northing and easting are coordinates. You can see all of the different options that we have here, and we will play with these and have you use them. Anything else that I think is useful? Let's see. Is my drawing done? No, I should add more information. I should make sure that there's a road. So I've got a road here. I know the width of the lane that I measured was 25 feet. I can use something called offset. Or copy. Let's try copy. We're going to select that object. I'm going to select the base point, and I can basically just copy it. If I want it to be exactly 25 feet off, here is offset up here. Again, really great thing about Civil 3D, anywhere you hover, you're going to get information on what it is. If you stay long over that point, so offset creates concentric circles, parallel lines, it's going to tell you exactly what it does. So let's click on offset. Tell you what, before I do that, I'm going to select this line. I'm going to click offset, and now it knows, and we want to make it 25 feet away. Here's the cool thing. If you move your cursor, you could put it above, you could put it below. This is going to be really helpful when in a couple of weeks you're designing a title block that's basically lines offset continuously. All right, one of the last things I ask you to do is to do a little bit of annotation. So two things I want to show you. Text. If I want to write on here Markle Hall, I'm going to click. It's going to allow me to specify the height of that text. I can always assume, let's just take the default 0.2 and a rotation angle of 0. We can always rotate it. I'm going to call this Markle Hall. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to hit escape. Oh no, where is it? It's really, really tiny. If that happens to you, you can either erase this and redo it, or I think you can scale it. So let's scale Markle Hall. We're going to select it. We're going to click enter. We're going to specify a base point. I'm going to zoom out, and look at that. I can scale it up, and I can move it. I'm going to select it, click enter, specify a base point, and move it over. All right, so now you can annotate things. The last thing I want you to be able to do is to add dimensions. So if I go to the annotate tab, I'm going to see this thing right here called dimension. I'm going to click on that. Well, let's add a dimension to this area. Look at that. all I'm doing is clicking on the line and I get this pop-up and I'm gonna say where I want it to go. Anytime I hover over part of my dimension, I'm gonna get that information and I can choose where I want it to appear. There we go. All right, so that is your basic introduction to Civil 3D. Something I should have done that I did not do is save this. So I'm gonna save this to the desktop. I'm gonna show you that one more time. So I'm gonna go up here to save. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna say Kelahek, there's my name, and there's the desktop. And I'm actually gonna make a new folder and I'm gonna call it homework. What homework are we on? Homework 3. And I'm going to save it as my name. And it's going to save it as a DWG file. For your homework, you just need to take a screenshot of this. You just need to show me that you made some effort and take a screenshot and bring that into your drawing. It's going to have a black background. That's okay. When I close this down, I just want to show you one other important thing. There is homework 3 on my desktop. Again, I'm going to recommend you pull this into your Google Drive. So you're going to log into Google Drive. You're going to see My Drive. And then you're going to want to do, if you haven't already made a new folder for CE271, make that folder. And then if you go into that folder, you're going to have your drawing right there. Oops, sorry, I moved off the screen. That is helpful for you. I'm going to just minimize this. I can click on that drawing and I can drag it upwards. That allows me to save that drawing and always be able to access it. To access it, I click on it, right click, download, and it would appear in the downloads folder on this computer. So you can always get access to it somewhere else. All right, folks, good luck. Make me a cool Civil 3D drawing. I look forward to it.